Hey, 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 how is everybody doing? I am coming at you at a different time today because we had life happened. So I'm really excited to be here this afternoon. I did get some questions around the topic I want to talk about today. So I'm going to let people join us, but I'm going to go just ahead and jump right in and tell you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to talk about how you can build your dream team, how you can build your dream team and work from home. I've been doing it for, I don't even want to tell you, since 2002. So a long time. I started as a solopreneur all by myself and kind of moved from there. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. I was having some trouble earlier today. So make sure you let me know if you can hear me. I have my comments on, so I want to hear from you and what you're thinking. And I just want to share with you, like step by step, how I did it, and then hear how what your questions are and what you might be looking for. So I started back in 2002 as a solopreneur all by myself working from home. And that started when I got married because I moved from Washington, D.C. to San Antonio. And I had to quit my job to get married and move. And I decided that I would start my own company at that time. I'd always kind of wanted to do it. I wanted to be a consultant. And that would be really, I thought that would be really great to be able to work from home. And I had planned on just getting I had planned on getting pregnant and having babies, and I've had three, so that definitely happened. Hi Talmar, how are you? See, Talmar is like excellent at this. So anyway, I got some questions recently, Talmar, about how I built my dream team. So I'm just here to talk about my personal experience. So what I did is way back in 2002 when I started, I was all alone. It was just me. And my old job gave me a little contract. I was editing our newsletter, our magazine, our glossy 4-color magazine, and I took that with me and I started doing that from home. So that was really back when the idea of doing something that like that from a huge distance was not super common. And so I started doing that and really enjoyed being at home. And then, like I said, I was wanting to have children. So, my husband and I started kind of late. I got married when I was 32. So I knew that pretty quickly we would start having children. So we did. And so I got busier and busier and busier. And pretty soon I was raising two kids and running a business by myself. And I had this block in my head about hiring. I didn't want to hire any people because number one, I didn't want to be responsible for them. I always felt like I had a responsibility to them. If I hired them, what if I didn't have enough work coming in and how could I keep them fed? And I was like, I didn't want to do that. So I kept just kind of putting it off and putting it off. I didn't hire contractors, nothing. I was just doing it all myself. The only person that I hired was a CPA, and I did that right away. So that person to take care of my cash, right? So that was the first thing I did when I got in business. It was the smartest thing is that immediately I didn't try to do my taxes. But everything else, pretty much taking out the trash, everything, I did it myself. Making sure that my computer was working, me. IT manager, making sure that all the billing was done, me. Making sure that everything. So I run a agency, and back then I really was a consultant more. And I was starting to get some big jobs. I started working with SeaWorld. I was editing their newsletter, and then I started working on their social media. I did their first social media launch. I was doing a lot of like major work, and I was doing it by myself, plus raising two small, tiny ones at the time. So can you imagine kind of what happened here, right? So fast forward about 4 or 5 years into that, and I started to feel a little bit dragged down and burned out because basically I was working from the second I woke up in the morning, and then until I got to the evening, and then I called it the slide to bed. I would get my kids ready and change their diapers and feed them and nurse them and put them to bed. And I was pretty much running a hamster wheel. Have you ever been there? Just feeling like you're on this hamster wheel. You're just doing this whole thing. So I okay, so Julie asked how many months or years did I work? So way too long. So actually yesterday I got on the phone with Devana, who is my virtual assistant, who is my executive assistant, basically. She runs my life, just so you know, at this point. And we were going back to try to find out when I first started working with the company that I hired her through. And it was 2015. So I went from 2002 to 2015 all by myself. I do not recommend it. I do not recommend it. It was just me being stubborn inside my own head, thinking I couldn't afford it, thinking I couldn't do anything. I don't know. I just felt like if I could do it, so why should I hire somebody to do it? That was the other part, is I was competent at all these things. So if I'm competent at them, why should I hire somebody to do them? And number two, I didn't have the money to do it. I kept thinking I didn't have the money. So in 2015, I was so burned out that I decided I was going to look into the idea of getting an assistant, like a virtual assistant. So I started doing my research and reaching out, and I settled on a company called Zirtual, Zirtual, Zirtual.com. And I've been with them ever since, by the way, 2015 till today. And they are now owned by startups.co. So they are really kind of specialize in this area. And I get Devana for a set amount of time every month I pay. And I think you can start with them. It's not cheap, but it starts at $4.99 per month. Now you don't have to hire through them. This is just the way I did it. Okay. So again, I'm just sharing my personal experience, and I'd love to hear what you guys say. But I started with Zirtual back then, and I've just loved them, because if my virtual assistant quits, and like one of mine quit and she adopted a child, it was awesome. And then they found a new assistant for me. So they are always making sure that my assistants are amazing. I mean, I've never had a bad assistant through them. So I definitely went that route. And now Devana is like, basically, I mean, we consider her part of our team. She just basically runs us. You can ask Katie Moreno. We talk about Devana being the queen of us. Anyway, so I started that in 2015, and how I kind of tricked myself into understanding how I could do this is that I started to give Devana the kind of the difficult parts of my job. So like I would have to do like put together a spreadsheet that had to do with the content for that month or whatever. And then I would say, okay, Devana, you do this part. And so she'd do that for her hourly rate, which was much lower than my hourly rate. And then I was billing the client at my hourly rate. So what happened there was I was like, oh my gosh, I can pay for my assistant. Like, it pays for itself. It totally paid for itself. And she was quite competent. So we started doing that. And I was like, okay, I can afford it. I can afford it. And that's how I don't know, tricked myself into believing I could afford it, I guess. And then I will never go back. I mean, since 2015, or 20, I'm sorry, I said 2015, it was 2005, no, 15. It was 2015. Yeah. So it was 2015. So I've never looked back since then. And then what happened after that is, as I started using Devana more and I started relying on her more, and she actually helps run social media breakfast and all of the back end stuff, like reaching out to the guests. And I turned my whole calendar over to her completely. Like, I don't schedule myself. Very, very, very rarely do I schedule myself anymore. She does it for me, including my vacations, everything. I'll send over my stuff to her from when I have 3 kids now. So fast forward, I now have 3 children, and they all go to different schools. And so I would give her all of their schedules too. So she puts those on my calendar as well. She does it all for me. And I think, just the relief in my brain, just the space that I have in my brain because of that. So Devana is awesome. Yes. Now, the second thing that happened was that now that I started working with Devana, and by the way, let me back up. It was before Devana, my first assistant. When I first got my virtual assistant, I had a hard time turning stuff over to her. I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, like, holding on tight. Here's my lipstick case. I was holding on like this to the stuff that I needed to do, thinking, I don't even know how I have time to let go of it. So you may be in that situation too. Like, if you've waited as long as I did, what you end up doing is you've wound yourself up so much that it's hard to let go of the pieces, because you don't have time to take them out of here and put them into here so that the people can help you. So the first thing I did, honestly, was I put a piece of a notepad beside my desk, and I started to write down just things that I knew that I probably shouldn't be doing. So like scheduling my calendar, updating this spreadsheet, just different things that were honestly for her that she could do. So I just started doing that. And at first it was a kind of a short list, 10 or 15 things. Now Devana does like so much. But it was funny because yesterday I told Devana I was going to come on here and tell you guys about this. And she goes, tell them that one of the biggest problems I have with clients when they first start is that they don't know what to give me. And they'll sign up for the service and then they won't use it. And then they'll cancel the service because they don't have time to use it. So the first thing you need to do is have a list of things that you can delegate. And delegation is an art. And it's going to require for you to understand that indeed somebody may do it a slightly different way than you did, but it's going to free you up like so much. I mean, I was like a new person after I have my assistant, right? So that was really, really important. Okay, so that's number one. And then after that, what I really needed was people to help me in the business part of it, like in the strategy, social media strategies, the stuff that I do. That honestly, it's just a lot of it. So I kept finding myself being very overwhelmed with that. So when I had my agency with my partners, we had hired a couple of people that would help with that. So Julie Piper became one of our employees. And then later she became also a contractor to me. So she became sort of my strategist and she is also a contractor. So I worked with her for a number of years as a contractor. She was a contracted strategist similar to me. She had her own company. And then we worked together. Like I'd bring her in on projects and things like that. And that worked really, really well for a long time. But then I got a client that required me to have specific insurance. So that can happen too sometimes. So I got kind of pushed into being, doing it the way that I do it now. So that client really required my employees to be actual employees, like W-2, like give them at the end of the year, actual employees. And so I had to get special insurance for them and that had to cover them and that doesn't cover contractors and et cetera. So I was really overwhelmed with the idea of having to do all the workforce commission stuff because in every state it's different and all this stuff. So here's what happened. I came upon, actually I was using ADP, which is a payment processor to pay myself because I am an LLC and my company, I've checked the box as an S Corp. So I'm an S Corp. Zoetica Media or Zoetica LLC check the box as an S Corp. And so because of that, I pay myself a salary, like just a regular salary through my company. And then I give myself a W-2 at the end of the year, in addition to the K1. So if you don't do any of that, don't worry about that. But my point is that I was paying myself and I had gotten to the end of the year and I wanted to get a quick, distribution of funds. I didn't want them sitting there till the next year. And ADP told me I'd missed the deadline and that I could not get that distribution of funds. And I wanted it to come through there so we could do all of the correct paperwork. So they told me they couldn't do it. So I started calling around to different payment processors and I found one and it's called gusto.com. And Gusto became my payment processor. And what was cool about Gusto and is still is that you can start using them with contractors for free. So you can start paying your contractors through Gusto and Gusto will pay them directly to their bank accounts. And they issue the 1099 and the W-2 for your employees at the end of the year for you. It was a game changer for me. They also do all of the reports with the state, whatever state you're in. And they also do that now that back then it wasn't so true, but now you have to actually also register your employees with the state. So they do all of the paperwork for me. And then I don't know, but after that was taken care of, that whole paperwork side, the side that I hate so much, I was done. That was it. I was like, yeah, I can do this. And so I became a crazy person. I started, hiring when I need. I never worry about hiring anymore. If I can start them up through Gusto, even my contractors, I always start them up through Gusto. And at the end of the year, guess what? It just emails them their 1099 or their W-2 at the end of the year. It's all done January 2nd or 3rd. I don't have to do any of it. So for me, that was hugely important because I just felt like I couldn't do it otherwise. So it's just freedom. Yes, exactly. So much freedom. So I don't know. Are you guys having any trouble? Rishimera, I'm sorry, I can't say your name right. Says it's not working well, the live stream. But anyway, tell me if I'm going slow, but I think I'm okay. It looks okay over here, but if I'm slow, let me know. So Gusto was awesome. I've been with them ever since and love, love, love them so, so much. And I actually am even an affiliate with them. So I'll put all the links to all these services I'm talking about in my live for you afterwards so you can grab it. Okay, thanks, Walter. I appreciate that. Whew, it might just be you, Rushamera. I'm sorry. So the bottom line was that now I had the beginnings of a dream team, right? I have this burgeoning company. Oh, the other thing that Gusto did for me is it gave me workman's compensation. I can buy my workman's compensation insurance through them. You can also get healthcare insurance through them. Crazy. So I'm just, yeah, I can't recommend them highly enough, and it's fairly inexpensive to use them. So I will put that in here. So anyway, that's what I've done is I've built that. Now, the next thing, and this is where this kind of came up. So I had somebody ask me about my integrator who is on here. Hey, Katie. Yes. Oh, yeah. Here's the employee. Hey, Katie's dropping in. I tagged her. On the employee side, Gusto is so nice and easy peasy. Yes, it is. It's so nice, right? You can find all your stuff. It's awesome. Good. So yeah, Katie is part of the dream team for sure. And so how that came about is Katie actually works on this big client that I told you about. But we came up with a job description for a we use community manager as our title for people that run the social media channels for our clients. So we have a huge hospital system here in Houston that we run all of their social media. That's 7 hospitals and 200 locations of whatever. So we run their community management. We respond to everybody and we get back to everybody. We run the community side of things. And so we need to have somebody who's really empathetic, that is quick on the ball, that is in social media, that has that passion around it. So we created a coordinator position and we wrote it up. So that's the other thing I want to say is that you want to make sure that you absolutely are clear about who you're looking for. So if you're going to hire an employee, this is somebody who's going to be with you for a while. So what are the things that they need to do? And a couple of things. First of all, the tasks that they need to do are important, but the personality that they have is really important. Does it fit with your team? Also, are they the right fit in terms of the things that you stand for as a company? Like for us, it's all about learning. It's about community. So I have to find people that care, like actually care about people, that really, really care, because that's the way we want to serve our clients. And that's the way we want to serve our clients' customers and communities. That's really, really important to my team. And so we put together a really good job description, put it out there. And then we did something a little bit different because we're in social media. I also want to make sure that people are great at their job. So we did a test, and I could probably share just what it looks like real quick. We just used a Google Doc. I'm going to share my screen here for you, a Google form, actually. And we created this test, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So this is how I found Katie. And this is actually the test, and it has information about them. And then I gave them information about the client and had them put together social media around it. So like they'd have to write a tweet, put together an image. There was a couple of other things like that. We told them about the persona. We kind of gave them some guidance, and then we asked them to do this, read this thing, and then read this press release and make it interesting social media content, not like a press release, right? So we gave them all of this. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically we just set it up. This is a free little form, and we just put it in here. And then at the end, I pulled them all together, and I had quite a few people come out for this role. And, there was a couple of people that stood out, and Katie was one of them. And so I brought them in for second interviews, and that's how I did that. So that was probably the most involved hiring process I ever did for like actual employees, like W-2 employees. Secondly, we use a ton of contractors. Again, our dream team has employees and it has contractors. And so one of the contractors who's worked out extremely well, her name is Crystal Bacora, and she is amazing. So Crystal Bacora is my integrator, is what I like to call her. But here's how she came about. So somewhere, I don't know, I'd have to go back and look exactly when I hired her, but it was like last year, Katie. I don't know, when did I hire her exactly? Anyway, it doesn't matter. We were putting together the course. We were doing an online course called Smart Social Secrets, where we teach companies that can't work with us one-on-one because we have these giant clients. So we have a online course to teach you how to do your own strategy. And we also kind of jump in with you. So if anybody's in our course right now, you can speak up, but they're pretty busy right now doing their homework. Honestly, they're 3 weeks in and we have a lot on their plate. So they're doing their social media strategy right now. I needed somebody to help me get that course up and online. And because I've been learning how to use other people, almost immediately I knew I needed help. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go out there. It was last year. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get somebody immediately to help me put this together. And I had decided and it doesn't matter what you use, but the course platform I was going to use was called Kajabi. And I just made a decision that's what I was going to use because I'm not going to spend all day thinking about what's the best, what's better. We just wanted to get it done. And so I went to Upwork, and I've used Upwork many times. So last year I did a lot of video editing with a video editor out of the Ukraine. She was amazing. She was a global nomad. Actually, she traveled everywhere and she just liked having that lifestyle. So she was doing video editing wherever she was. So I had done a bunch of video editing there. I've had a lot of success with Upwork. So I decided I was going to go to Upwork. And this is exactly what I did. I'll show you because I actually pulled it up for you so I could show you what I did. I went into Upwork and I said, I literally put the word Kajabi in the so this is Crystal. This is I work with her out of here. This is her back end thing where I'm working with her. So let me go here. She actually is in the United States. She's actually in San Francisco as we speak, moving in the next week or two to Maryland. But I just went Kajabi. I'm going to show you what I did, because you might do something similar. So I will say, like a platform like Upwork works best when you know exactly what you need. Like you really want to have a task in mind for somebody off of Upwork, because you want them to, most of the people on Upwork are specialists. They specialize in a specific thing. And I've had the most success doing it that way. Crystal has turned into my integrator, but I didn't go in here looking for an integrator. I came in here looking for somebody who had a specific expertise with a specific platform that I was planning to use. So here's an example of people that are on here. So you'll see the different price levels here, 65 an hour. This person has earned 10K and they have a 96% job success. I tend to look for people who either have like 100%. I like 100%. 95 is not bad. Some people are just, trolls when it comes to like these people. They don't treat them well. So you want to treat these people well. Absolutely. So I'll go down and I'll look for like a good price point, a good placement, somebody that looks good to me. Okay. So I'm kind of liking Kevin H here. He's $50 an hour, which is reasonable. And for this kind of work, and he's earned $10,000. And he has 100% job success. He's a little bit more expensive than I would want for like an integrator. But like if he's doing a specific task in and out, not bad. So let me go over here and I would click on him and I'd say, okay, what's going on with Kevin H? Let's see who he is. How long has he been on the platform? That kind of thing. So you'll go there. And what Kajabi is going to make you do is invite these people to a job. So you're going to have to create a job in Kajabi. Not Kajabi. You're going to have to create a job in Upwork before you invite people to it. Now you can make it a private job and just invite certain people. And that's what I do. I never put a job out there and ask people to come apply for it. You can, but I personally, I'd rather have a little more control over it than that. So that's just my personal opinion. So I can't get in right now quickly, probably because of what's going on. But here we go. So let's see. He's had 35 jobs. Not bad. He's worked 385 hours. Not bad. I would probably put him on a list. So I might save him. You see, I just put him in my little saves. I could hire him now if I wanted to. I could add a little optional thing in here saying, oh, looks good or something. Or maybe I like this or that about him. So you could be very specific and it lets you save it there. Now, when I like I said, whenever you're ready to do it, you want to have a job description. So job descriptions, guys, Job descriptions are so important. I came in here to look at you to tell you that, because if you're not clear what you want, your employees or contractors will not be successful. It's as simple as that. You have to be super clear on what you want in this and what kinds of things you want done. So with Crystal, it was great. We hit it off pretty much immediately. I had a Skype call with her. So you can actually interview them beforehand a little bit. You can just talk to them real quick. And then you release the funds. So it does require you to put in your credit card, and then you can set it up as a fixed pay, like a one pay, like we're going to do this project together, or you can do it in an hourly rate. Either way. So you have to work it out with your contractor, put it into Upwork. And honestly, for specific jobs, this has been great. I really lucked out with Crystal because she turned out to be great at email. She turned to be great at many more things than just Kajabi. And that's awesome because now she's also a part of our team. And this is just the way we pay her because this is how she likes to be paid. So I'm just going to say, you can have both. And then as I was putting out the course, what I did as well is I started coming down the path, and I know very well how to do Facebook ads. I feel like I can do them, but the problem was I was running out of time. And again, it's so funny because now my go-to is let's hire somebody to get this done immediately, the right person. So already I had a relationship with Todd Giantasio, who is a friend of mine who does some great marketing work, and I just reached out to him. I said, will you do my Facebook ads? And he brought he has a contractor too that he brought on, Kiernan and Todd ran all the ads for me. Even though I can run them, I didn't have time, guys. I was already not sleeping. Like, what more time do we need? And guess what? We had an amazingly successful launch. And if I hadn't run the ads with it, probably we wouldn't have. I mean, we would have had a decent launch, but it wouldn't have been as successful as it was, I think. So just looking at the numbers. So I just say, sometimes hiring people actually means that you actually make money. And if you don't hire people, you don't make the money. It's like you have to grow in order to be successful. And, you don't have to grow in an office building. All of my team work from home. All of my team. Yes. Yeah. Katie says, haha, good timing to jump on Todd, right? Oh, because I just talked about Todd. Is he here? Ha! Todd. You heard me talking about you, huh? Anyway, so I'm just saying, you've got to lean toward that, and you can build an empire from your office at home. I mean, I have an office at home. I've had an office at home. I've told you since 2002. I've had a team, only since about 2015 or so. So, I mean, I've hired contractors here and there, but this whole system I have right now with Gusto, with Katie and Tracy, who hasn't jumped in here, but Tracy is amazing too. And I wrote all their names up there. And then I've got Lenny and Margaret, who are running all of the financial side of the business at this point. I'm just saying you need to have that peace of mind, because if you have space to think, you can create, you can come up with the stuff that's going to make the money for the company. You can create the content that needs to be created that only you can create, although Katie's pretty good at creating content too. I'm just going to say, you can do all those things, but you can't if all you're doing is doing the billing and, running after things. You've got to get it off your plate. You just have to. And take it from somebody who just resisted getting it off her plate. You have to get it off your plate. So would love to hear if you guys have any questions or anybody has any thoughts around that. And Talmar's here. And Talmar actually specializes in helping women specifically to do exactly what I'm talking to you about. This is more her area than mine. I'm just telling you my own personal story. So I'm just going to let you know that without a team, I couldn't do this. There's just no way. I have decided that my goal in life, or my purpose in life in many ways, is also to be a boss in some ways, as Talmar likes to call us, the boss, because I can provide opportunities for people. I can grow careers. I can help people be successful too. That includes my employees and also my customers. So my customers are really, really important to us, but so are my employees. I feel like I'm here for them in many ways. That this is my calling, is to do this and hopefully help them through whatever they're needing to get through, their own ambitions too. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I just wanted you to know how I did it. And as far as an integrator goes, that's really like kind of a technical assistant, somebody that's on the back end doing all of the technical stuff, like email and connecting things together. So she connected my ConvertKit email to Kajabi, which is our course platform, and she works on that kind of stuff. And then she just writes tons of emails. How many emails, Katie, would you say that she wrote? I mean, insane number of emails. Oh, Katie, thank you. That's sweet. It's gonna make me cry. Anyway, awesome. Hey Joyce, how are you doing? Hey, Joyce is down in Galveston. How's it going down there on the beach? Joyce is one of my clients. Hi, Joyce. Oh yeah. So how many emails did she write? Like, yeah, like so many. I don't even know how many she wrote. If you guys got an email from me in the last month or two, it came from Crystal. I mean, she's been adopting my voice really well. That's really, if you can find somebody like that. So I love that I found somebody that was both a writer and and also good at the technical stuff. I would just say that's probably a unicorn in some ways. I had thought that I was going to have to hire a writer. And in fact, we even interviewed a writer. I was thinking about a writer and a technical person, but she was doing so well that we just went on that horse and we're never getting off of it. So you'll find those unicorns once in a while, but at some point, if she's ever gone, I'll probably have to hire 2 people to fill her role. So you have to look for people and people that kind of fit your company style. So for us, creativity is really important. For our company, you have to be creative in our company. You have to be able to just create stuff out of thin air. That's really something that we do a lot. Almost everybody on the team can do that, really. So that's one of the things we look for. So actually, I'm working right now on my guiding principles. I'm using storybrand.com for that. They're awesome. I love storybrand.com. He's got this new guiding principles course inside of his back end. And that guiding principles course, I'm going through it with myself right now. And then my team are going to come with me and we're going to actually have all of these things nailed down. Like, what is a Zoeticon? Who is a Zoeticon? And I really do believe that Zoeticons are people that share content and that are always learning and sharing with each other. So we're going to be doing a lot of that in our group. So we're going to be launching a Smart Social Secrets Facebook group, a free one, in about a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks. As soon as this course is over, we're going to launch the free group. And in the free group, I'm going to be doing these weekly live streams like this with a little bit of teaching. And also, we're going to be doing some sharing of content. Like, we're going to keep you on the cutting edge of what's happening in social media. That's really something that actually Katie and I just talked about this week, exactly what was going to be in that group. So keep your eyes out for the group. If you want to get on the list right away, you can go to smartsocialsecrets.com and get on the waiting list for the course. Or I guess my live stream last week had a link to our 2x2 mini course. So you can get on the list either one of those 2 ways, which teaches you how to find and connect with your online audience. So we're doing a lot of content right now. We're going to be doing that for the next, couple of months, and would love to have you jump on. So anyway, I think that's all. I'm out of time. So thank you guys so much for coming in and just taking a few minutes. And Talmar, thank you for coming and being an awesome person. You should tell people who you are and what you do. You should follow the breadcrumbs for her, because she specializes in helping people, women especially, build teams like I've built. So would love to have you talk with her. And anyway, highly recommend. Okay, guys, I will talk to you next week. We will be back with more content. I haven't decided what that is yet, but I'm going to be mapping that out. I may start going through my Smart Social Secrets and kind of share those with you over the next couple of weeks. And again, like I said, we're going to be launching the Facebook group. So make sure you hit me up on DM or sign up at smartsocialsecrets.com so that you don't miss it when we start the new group. Okay, take care. Awesome. Oh, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.